Yes, we start the third unit. So we have completed the second unit as of now. So, and I have given the question paper also. I have given the instruction to how to write an exam also. So yesterday I have wrote an exam. Have you all aware about how to submit those answer sheets and all, right, in Google Classroom?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, so no problem related to that. So I have shared the question paper. You just collect those answers and you can write in your own words whatever instruction I have given in the previous class. So today we are going to start the third unit. That is, in this third unit we are going to see only two topics. That is sorting and searching. So this is the thing. Whichever the sorting techniques or a searching technique that will be related to the data. Based upon the data, we are going to do some of an operation in the sorting and some of the operations in the searching techniques. So these are the things we are going to look into the third unit. Only 8 to 9 topics will be there, 9 topics and 9 programs, 9 different types of program. But the output will be same. You know what is the sorting methodology, right? Have you studied in PSPP? What is the sorting methods? What is the sorting objective?
Arranging the elements.
Arranging the elements either in ascending order or in a descending order. That will be depends. So the output for all
Ascending
the
order,
things
sir.
will be the same, but arranging an element in an ascending order as well as the descending order, that will be depends upon your program. So that will be considered how what is the program needs. That based upon the needs you can write the code. That's enough. But the thing, all the sorting techniques what we have discussed in PSPP, which will be related to the output, which will be related to the output, will be same. Whether you are using bubble sort, merge sort, quick sort, insertion sort, whatever sorting you are using, the output will be same, but the method and the condition of the sorting will be different. So in this, we are going to look after the 5 types of sorting techniques in the third unit. So these are all the 5 types. So in this 5 types, what we have studied in PSPP already.
Selection, insertion, merge.
Selection,
Without
insertion, and merge sort.
remaining all. Bubble shot,
So
remaining all.
bubbles. Quick shot has been, have you insert, have you studied in your lab exercise? I hope so. The code has been not explained to you. You have just written the code and you have studied, you have written the code in a lab exercise. That's it. So apart from that, selection, insertion, merge, the code has been explained. And once again, I am going to explain in this third unit also. So here the first sorting techniques will be your bubble sort. So today we are going to look into the bubble sort technique. So this will be one of the easiest technique when we are comparing to the remaining sorting techniques, sorting methods. So in this class, we are going to look only the bubble sort techniques, and I will tell you how to write a program easily. When we are comparing with the previous class, in this class, I will tell you how to write a program very easy, which if you are understanding the concept, then the program writing will be very easy. So I will explain you that. So today the bubble sort techniques will be here. Can you see this image and tell me what is happening in this bubble chart, if anyone? So this is the bubble chart basic structure. So can you tell me, I will give you a minute time. You just look into the image and tell me what is happening there.
Sir, it is swapping, sir, or ascending the element.
Yes, it will take first element and it will compare with next element. After that, the next element will be compared with next element, next element, next element. So in that case, first iteration, it means first to pass, what will happen? The highest element will be coming here at the last. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So you just see this image. So this is an output for a bubble chart. So this is an unsorted list I have given. So this is an unsorted list, and here 3 iteration has been happen in my program. After the third iteration, I am getting the final output. So I am having 5 element. So I will going with the 4 iteration process. So you just take this. First element is 10 and 15. What will happen? This 15 and if 10 and 15 will compare whether 10 is less than or 15 is whether 10 is less than or 15 is less than. So it will take 10 is less than, so the element will be remain same. And again this 15 will take and compare with 4. So it will swap the element over there. And again the 15 will take and compare with 23. So it will remain same because 15 is less than 23. So it will remain same. and after that this 23 will taken and it will compare with 0, and the 23 is higher than, so 23 will be interchanged. So in the final iteration, the last element will be the highest value of your list that you are provided. Have you clear about this? Yes, or I want to explain one more time.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts in this, or I want to explain one more time? This is the first iteration. Based upon this iteration, all the iteration will be there. Whether you are clear?
That means each and every element it is comparing, sir, for first
Yes,
iteration.
it will first iteration it will compare. You just see here. So this is the unsorted list that I given. First, what will happen? It will check 10 and 15. It will check. So 10 is obviously lesser, right?
Yes, sir.
So it will be remains in the same position, and 15 will be remains in the same position. 4, 23, 0. It will be remains the same position. And after that, what will happen? It will check 15 and 4. So 4 is lesser, right?
Yes, sir.
So 4 will be interchanged here, and 15 will be interchanged here. And again, this 15 will be compared with 23. So 15 is lesser. No, so no changes has occur here, right?
Yes, sir.
And again, what will happen? This 23 and this 0 will be compared, and the lesser element will be interchanged. So 23 will be coming here, and 0 will be coming here. So now what will happen? In the particular list, the highest number of element in the first iteration, the highest number of element will be coming at the last. Yes.
Okay.
And see, you can see the second iteration, the second number of second highest element will be coming at the last minus 1. Yes. Clear?
Yes, sir.
In the third iteration, the second number of highest element minus 2 will be coming at the third. In the fourth iteration, the highest number of element minus 3 will be coming at the fourth, and the remaining part will be a lesser element. So don't go with how this matrix has been, how this list has been created. Don't go and don't get confused. First, this till this 23 has been finalized, and remaining this 4 part has been considered here. So it will, you can see here the next part, 10 and 4 will be compared. So 4 will be interchanged here, right? And 10 will be interchanged here. And again, this 10 and 15 will be compared. So there is no interchanging option. It will be like that only. And again, this 15 and 0 will be compared, and 0 will be coming here, and 15 will be coming here. So no need for go with this 23, because we already selected the 23 as the highest element in your list. Yes. Yes. So likewise, the first iteration, when you are having 5 elements, the first iteration which will consist of 4 repetition, and second iteration which will consist of 3 repetition, and third iteration which will be complete of 2 repetition, and the fourth element which will be complete of the final repetition that will be occurred. So when you are going with the 5 element, 4 iteration will be there. So this is the concept. That means number of element minus 1, that is the iteration process, because the final element which will be already segregated, so no need for this final element also. So based upon this, we are going to write a program. I will tell you how to write a program by each and individual step. So be aware and listen of this particular program to how to write the program. And in the next class and all, I won't tell you like this. You want to practice whatever I am telling like this. So now I am going with this. So have you understand the concept? That will be fine. Have you understand the concept? Then whatever I am telling now, that will be very easy for you. So now I am going to insert a list inside the program itself. So I am not going with this user input. First I am going to insert a list inside the program. So I am giving list 1 is equal to same number. I am giving that 10, 15, 4, 23 and 0. Right? So now I am printing the list. Print unsorted list 1. So what has happened here? I have created a list and I am printing the list. That list will be your unsorted list. So if you are getting the result over here, yes, the unsorted list has been displayed. So this is an unsorted list. So now what I want to do is I want to compare this first element with the second element, right? First, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So what I am using is in in range, for I in range, length of list 1 minus 1. Why I am using the list of length 1 minus 1?
There is 4 iterations.
Yes, because length of a list is 5. I need 4 iteration to do the process, because the single element will be coming at the end of the list. It means that the final lowest element will be coming in the first of the list. So I need no need to go for another iteration. So whatever the length of the list, that minus 1 want to be up here. So first I am checking that if if list 1 of I is greater than list 1 of I plus 1. So what it means? So I will be starting from the index value of
0.
0. So it means that for I, it means that first it will start from 0. So list 1 of 0 is greater than list 1 of I plus 1, 0 plus 1. It means list 1 of 0 is greater than list 1 of 1. So here what will be the condition? What is the list 1 of 0 here?
10, sir.
10. And the list 1 of 1?
12.
12, sir.
12. Sorry. It means 15. You take it 15. So same program I am giving here. That's it. So list 1 of 10 is list 1 of 0 is 10, and list 1 of 1 is 15. Whether this condition true or false?
False,
Whether
sir. False.
false. So if suppose the condition is true, what I have told you to do there,
Return.
Interchange the value, sir.
it
Swap
means
the value.
swapping the value. So if I am giving a basic condition, if the condition is true, I want to swap those values. So it means what is the swapping is, list, we already studied this swapping techniques. List 1 of I comma list 1 of I plus 1 is equal to list 1 of I plus 1 comma list 1 of I. Have you remember this? Have you remember this swapping technique? Yes, anyone have you remember this swapping? So
Yes,
it
sir.
means
Yes.
list 1 of I value is 10 and list 1 of I plus 1 value is 12. So if it is list 1 of I plus 1 value is 5, then what will happen? It will swap the thing. It will swap and it will produce the result. So that is the process. Clear?
There.
Yes. Yes. Now I am going to print of list 1. Now you can see here that can you see here the first iteration output? Yes.
Yes, sir.
How it is coming? So if you want to be print like this, yes. So now you can see the first iteration output. What is happened is, whatever number has been swapped, that number only displayed here, right? Whatever number has been, so 10 and 15 has not swapped, and 15 and 4 has been swapped, that output has been displayed. And again 23 and 0 has been swapped, and that output only displayed. Why? Because this condition what we have given, for that particular condition the output has been displayed. If you need all the 4 iteration to be displayed, then if have you used the if statement, now you are going to use the if else statement, and in that if else statement you want to print the list 1. And if you are seeing that, And here you can see here, if statement will print whenever the ith element is low, in that type, the if statement will be print. If this condition is not satisfied for each an element, this print statement will be printing, and all the 4 iteration has been printed here. Clear? Any doubts, or I want to explain it again? Any doubts, or I want to explain it again? So you just eliminate this part, and you can see that you just eliminate this part. What will happen? We have given only one condition, that if list 1 of I is greater than list 1 of I plus 1, we want to interchange. If it is not greater, you have not given any condition. So what will happen? It will print only where the element of list has been there, it will be interchanging. Here the 15 and 4 has been interchanged first time, and after that this 15 and after that this 23 and 0 has been interchanging. So this is only 2 times the element has been interchanged in the first iteration. So that 2 times has been displayed. So what we want to need in your program, if the element has been interchanged or not interchanged, but you want to get a result. So in that case, you are going with an else statement and simply printing the print of list 1. So you can see here that. So here you can see this first element 10, 4, 15, 23, 0 has been appeared here. But in the first iteration, 10 and 15 has not interchanged, but not interchanged element also has been updated here. So here 10, 4, 15, 0 and 23. In the fourth iteration only, it will be there 10, 4, 15, 0 and 23. So in the third iteration, what will happen? 10, 4, 15, 23, 0. It has been not changed anything. Here the not changed numbers elements also displayed in this particular list. Clear, or I want to explain it one more time? So if it is clear, then the remaining lines of code will be easy.
So explain it one more time, sir.
I will give you this certain lines of code. So here what is happening, you just take this. So first element, so I have given 2 conditions for you. So first element is I in range list 1 minus 1. So if I am giving as condition that list 1 of I is greater than list 1 of I plus 1. So first, what is the list 1 of I? That means list 1 of 0. What is the element here? What is an element? 10. What is the list 1 of 1?
15.
15. So the condition will be
False.
false. So what is the if statement? If the condition is false, it will go to the else statement, right? Yes. Am I right? If what is the if condition? If the if condition is false, it will go to the else statement. So else it will print the list 1, whatever we have given, it will print the list 1. That is the first output. It has been done, right? Yes. You can see here. Yes, the first output has been done. The first output has been done. So again, it will go to the for loop. What is the for loop statement? Till the range we have given, the for loop will be executed. So now the I will become, already the I is 0. Now I will become 1, right? So it will take that list 1 of 1 is greater than list 1 of 2. What is the list 1 of 1 here?
15.
Yes, the list 1 of 1 is 15 is greater than list 1 of 2 value.
What?
List 1 of 2 value? 4. Whether the condition is true or false?
True.
True. Then what will happen if the if condition is true? It will be the remaining part will be executed. So list 1 of, it means 5 comma 4 is equal to 4 comma 15. Likewise, it will be changing. So you can change here. It means 15 comma 4 is equal to 4 comma 15. So what will happen? The 15 and 4 will be interchanged, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So then we are printing the list 1. So here you can see the next step, that 15 and 4 has been interchanged. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then what will happen? Again, it will go to the iteration here. and list 1 of, it means the second iteration. List 1 of 2 is greater than list 1 of 3. What is list 1 of 2 now?
4, sir.
15. 15.
15.
15. 15 is greater than 23. The condition will be
False.
false. Again, it will go to the else statement, and the same list has been printed again. You can see here the same list has been printed again, 10, 4, 15, 23, and 0. Right? And again, it will go to the iteration I loop. It will be 3. What is the list 1 of 3?
23.
23.
List 1 of 3, 23. Yes. Now what will happen? 23 is greater than list 1 of 4. It means I plus 1. List 1 of 4. 0. So the condition will be
True.
true. Then what will happen? Here it will be changing as 23 of 0 has been interchanged by 0 of 23. Right? So now it will printing the result that the 23 will be coming at the end. Yes?
Okay, sir.
Yes. Again, it will go to the for loop. It will consider that the iteration will be 5. So it will be, the for loop has been terminated, and it will be execute the first iteration result. It will be 23. So this is the first iteration process. Are we clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? If the first iteration has been clear to you, then the remaining iteration will be very easy. Same coding we are going to use in the remaining part. Whether clear it is?
Yes,
Any,
sir.
any doubts?
No, sir.
Yes. Now what is happening? You just imagine that this is the unsorted list, and this is the sorted first iteration sorted list, right? So based upon this first iteration sorted list, I want to do this process, and again I want to do this process, and finally I want to do this process. So I no need to write this code repeatedly again and again. So for that purpose, what I am doing is once again I am giving the I am taking J as for the for loop once again, J in range length of list 1, and I am giving this statement here. Yes. So what is the meaning here? So what is the if else? What is this statement meaning here? It means till the for loop has been getting false, this statement will be executed, right? Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? So don't consider this now. You just consider this we have done already, and we have got an output this. This we have done already, and we have got an output this. So what I am asking is, what is the rule for this for loop? How many iteration it will be go?
4.
1 iteration.
4 iteration it will be go. We are having a length of list 1 minus 1. So this for loop will be going for a four types of iteration. And this statement, when this statement will be terminated, once this for loop is getting false, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now what I am doing for this for loop and this if else loop will be terminated once the J loop will get false. Right? One minute, I will tell you how it will be working. I will tell you that. And you can see here, this for loop will be considered as your condition. This condition, once this condition has been true, this if and else statement will be executing continuously. And this J loop I am assigning this J loop as the condition. Inside the J loop, I am assigning the for loop. So what it means is, while this condition getting false, all the elements will be executed continuously. So here you can see here same process. I am repeating again for this, and I am repeating again for this, and I am repeating again for this. So you can see here now, print of list 1. Yes. The program has not been completed. You just listen this. What the thing is happened. The program is not yet completed. You just listen this. What is happened. So here you can see there. The first iteration has been completed by this format, right? We have studied that, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And same iteration for this, all the lines of code, I am giving one of the condition as J and giving the list -1. So it means that the list of 1, it means that 5 iteration has been happened here. Yes. So you can see here the first iteration has been happened. So this 23 has been done, right? So no need to change about this 23, because we have in the first iteration itself we have done the largest element in the last of the list. So this 23 has been done. So no need to do this calculation here. This comparison is no need to do. So in this part, this comparison is no need to do. In this part, this comparison is no need to do. And you have see here this, in this part, this all the comparison is no need to do. So for this, what we have done is we have assigned that length of list -1 in the normal stage. And now we want to give that length of list -1 and minus J. Because each and every iteration, this J will be minus continuously, and it will produce the result as next. You can see here the result. Can you see the result now? So after this iteration, the J will be executed as -1. It means that one iteration will be lesser than this. And again, this iteration has been happened. Again, the J will be lesser -1. So 2 iteration will be happen. And again, the third iteration, the J will be -1, and only 1 iteration will be happen. That will be your final output. So don't confuse. Just take the code and do the worry to do the code. Only one thing, if you are clear with this concept, if you are clear with this concept, if you are clear with this lines of code concept, then for this, you are assigning one of the condition called J and you are doing the process. That is a simple thing. No need to complicate more like this. So this is the simple thing. And we are assigning the J over here, and we are minusing that J from the list that we are whatever. So for the each and individual iteration, one process, one verification process will be minus. That is the concept. Any doubt in the concept?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So once you are getting the code and doing the homework, then you can easily identify this. And in the final step, we are printing that print the sorted list will be list 1. And you can execute this. And it will. And I have used the list. Sorry. You can see here the sorted list will be there. So you all know that this is the sorted list. This is the bubble sort technique. This is a simple sorting technique. There is no need to worry about this. Once you understand this, then this will be very easy, because first you want to know how the output will be. That is the first thing. First you want to know how the output will be occur, and based upon the output you want to do a program. You just imagine how the output will be there, and based upon the output you want to do the program. So this is the sorting method that in the program itself you have created a list and insert the element. If suppose you want to get an input from the user, what you want to do? Already I have used I am using once again the loop statement. For getting an input from the user, I am assigning a variable and getting an input type like this, and how many number I want to. So if suppose I am giving here as 8, then the num variable which will be consist of 8, and it will collect the 8 numbers. For collecting those 8 numbers, I am using the for loop. Once again, I am using the for loop, and I am using this list one dot append. What is meant by append function?
Adding element at the end.
End of the list. So you want whatever the input as giving a user first input as giving the user is giving the first input, it will add an input at the end of the list. One, two, or something. So here I am appending a function, and after getting each and individual, it will take an iteration from here, and it will append to each and individual iteration. So now I am getting how many number I want to be inserted. If suppose I am giving a 5 number over here, and I want to enter the 5 numbers here: 5, 7, 12, 1, and 6. So after entering the 5 element, the remaining process will be executed. After entering the 5 element, the remaining process will be executed. It means that it will print the unsorted list, and after getting this statement will be executed first for the first iteration. After that, it will come to the J for the second iteration. Same, this element will be executed for the second iteration. Likewise, it will be continuously executing the iteration till the J loop will be terminated. Till this J loop will be terminated. For individual iteration, the program will be terminated till the J loop. Once the J loop has been terminated, each and individual iteration will be terminated once the for loop has been terminated. So if suppose I am giving the 5 element and giving an address, so the first iteration it will be consist of 4 process, 3, 2, and 1. Finally the output will be displayed 1, 5, 6, and 1, 12. Clear about this? Simple thing. Don't get confused. One of the simple thing is a bubble chart. When you are comparing to all the sorting techniques, the simple sorting technique will be the bubble chart. So here we can use some other for swapping technique. We have lot of swapping techniques also. So that I am not going to use. I am not going to tell you that. So this is a basic technique. This will be enough for writing your university exam. So one thing you want to be clear. Here this for statement is for executing the first iteration. This J statement is for executing all the iteration based upon this for statement. So that is the process. So once the user will get an input, and here also I am using a for loop by using an append function. You can get an input in a list. So that will be the this is one of my easy sorters technique. So just I will share the code and do your homework at yourself, and you can easily identify. In case of any queries about this, you can ask me in the next class before the next sorting techniques has been discussed. Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
Yes. So make this So this is your assignment number 2.1. So want to write a bubble chart program. You want to write a bubble chart program. Whatever I have told now, based upon that, you want to write an algorithm. I have not given you an algorithm. You can write your algorithm. And you want to write a program. Change the list name, change the variable name, change the for loop structure. If possible, change the swapping method. If you know, you can change the swap method, or else you no need to change the swap method. You go with this and change the variable name, and these for loop statement want to be changed. Different types of inputs and different types of output want to be displayed. So this program want to be written in your paper, and output want to be written like this. The output want to be written like this, and the program must be explained each and individual for loop. This for loop want to be explained for each and individual output, and this J loop want to be explained for each and individual output. So this is your assignment number 2.1. I have not yet completed. It will be continued till this third unit will be completed. So once all the assignment has been completed, so most probably it will be coming like 2.1 to 2.5. And after giving my assignment, after giving all the 5 assignment, I will give you the date for submission, and that day you can submit those assignments. Right? Clear?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So I'm not forcing you to submit as today or tomorrow or next week or whatever it may be. I know I'm not forcing you. Whenever I am going to complete the 3rd unit, I will give you 5 topics for your assignment. So after giving the 5th topic, I will give you the date to submit all the 5 topics. On that time, you can submit the 5 topics. So this is the assignment number 1. So when you are getting a free time, you just do your assignment and keep it with you. That will be helpful for your internal too also while you are studying. Yes. Any doubts in this, you can ask the queries, or else you can give your attendance, department name followed by your name.